Please write in your books the date and a sound of thunder. Starter vocabulary. Use a paper thesaurus, thesaurus.com or dictionary.com. Please look up 3 alternative words or a definition for these words and write them in your vocabulary list. Piston, resilient, talon. Here are the vocabulary answers. A piston is part of an engine. Resilient means that it keeps trying or it's strong. And talon is a large, sharp claw. Lesson objectives. All learners will hear a passage from A Sound of Thunder about a dinosaur hunt. Identify vocabulary used to create imagery of the dinosaur. See a model Paper 1 Question 2 paragraph answer. Write a Paper 1 Question 2 paragraph. And write sentences using other imagery if time. Paper 1 Question 2. What is imagery? Imagery is the art of creating a mental image through descriptive words. Writers use either literal or figurative language to help readers picture an image of a scene by engaging their senses and evoking emotions. This literary device describes objects, actions, or ideas, while providing readers with sensory imagery that pulls them into a story, allowing them to relate to the characters and better understand the narrator. Here's an example of the difference between literal and figurative imagery. On the left we have literal imagery of some flowers and a description. The grass was green and the flowers were red. On the right we have figurative imagery. He has a heart made of stone. He doesn't really have a heart made of stone, but the stone gives you the impression that his heart is cold and he's unresponsive. And that is a metaphor, and it's figurative imagery. Imagine you're a paying customer on a dinosaur hunt via a time machine. What would you hear, see, feel physically, and feel emotionally? Let's find out. Using a time machine, an organisation called Time Safari transports clients into the past to take part in hunting expeditions. A group that includes Mr. Eccles, together with their guide, Travis, is visiting a prehistoric jungle in order to shoot a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Question 2. Look in detail at this extract from lines 16 to 26 of the source. How does the writer use language here to describe the Tyrannosaurus Rex? You could include the writer's choice of words and phrases, language features and techniques, and sentence forms. It came on great oiled, resilient, striding legs. It towered 30 feet above half the trees, a great evil god, folding its delicate watchmaker's claws close to its oily reptilian chest. Each lower leg was a piston, 1,000 pounds of white bone sunk in thick ropes of muscle sheathed over in a gleam of pebbled skin like the armour of a terrible warrior. Each thigh was a ton of meat, ivory and steel mesh, and from the great breathing cage of the upper body, those 2 delicate arms dangled out in front, arms with hands which might pick up and examine men like toys, while the snake neck coiled. And the head itself, a ton of sculptured stone, lifted easily upon the sky, its mouth gaped, exposing a fence of teeth like daggers, its eyes rolled, ostrich eggs, empty of all expression save hunger. It closed its mouth in a death grin. It ran, its pelvic bones crushing aside trees and bushes, its taloned feet clawing damp earth, leaving prints 6 inches deep wherever it settled its weight. Can you find any language in here, words which all fit together into a particular theme? There are several. What themes can you see? The themes are military, machine-like, statue-like, an evil god, and it's tall and heavy. Working with your neighbour, identify words associated with the themes on this list from the dinosaur text. Which are the military words? So the military words are armour, warrior and daggers. Here we have piston, steel mesh and ropes. Which theme do these fit in with? Those three words fit in with the theme of machinery. There are a lot of words here. We have great, towered, 1,000 pounds, a ton, another great, a ton of sculptured stone, and empty of all expression. What theme does that sound like? So those phrases refer to a statue-like theme. We have evil god and snake neck. What theme do you think this is? It's evil, but godlike. And lastly, we have some repetition here, but we have the words great, towered, 1,000 pounds, another great, a ton, another ton, and prince 6 inches deep. Which theme is this? It's the theme of the huge height and heavy weight of the dinosaur. Now that we've established which themes we're looking at and which vocabulary we're using, we need to know how to answer question 2. How does a writer use language to describe the Tyrannosaurus rex? And you're advised to use words and phrases, language features and techniques, and sentence forms. So how do we answer this? There is a plan. There are 4 things you need to do. First of all, you need to say what point the writer's making. What impression is the writer trying to give? Next, you need to select a quotation that illustrates this, and if you can, name which technique the writer is using. Lastly, say what further links you can make with the vocabulary and imagery, what other things it might mean, what are the implications. And that's the analysis and the effect on the reader. This question is 8 marks. You should take 2 quotations and analyse them as I just described. We're going to stick with the themes of military and engines for our answer. I'm going to do the military one and you're going to do the engines one. The question's 8 marks, so you should choose 2 quotations and use the method above. Here is my answer on the military theme for this question. The writer gives the impression that the dinosaur is powerful, almost indestructible, and an intimidating opponent. That's the point that the writer's trying to make. The writer uses the military-themed nouns and similes armour, warrior and daggers to show this. So there you have the quotations and the techniques. The armour implies that the animal is well protected from attack by hunters, which would cause the hunters some difficulty. Warrior shows that the animal is used to confrontation and knows how to defend itself. Daggers are the teeth that intimidate the hunters for fear of attack or even consumption. The beast is truly an adversary to be taken seriously. So that's the analysis of the language that you've chosen, and also the effect on the reader, what the reader would understand. It's your turn to do the other theme now. So you're going to write about the fact that the dinosaur is represented as an engine or a machine. We've established that some of the language you can use is piston, steel mesh and ropes. So have a go using the point, example quotations, techniques and analysis or effect on the reader, and write me a paragraph please in your books. To do, write a question 2 paragraph on the theme of the dinosaur being portrayed as a piece of machinery. Use the same structure, point, example quotation, technique if possible, and analysis and effect on the reader. Part 2. Find or look up words to fit in with the following themes that you could use in your writing. Think about symbols that you've studied too. The themes are fairy tale or magical, the sea, a fun fair, freedom, death and old age. Here is some vocabulary from each of those themes. Fairy tale or magical, palace, wish, fairy, wand, sparkle. The sea, wave, depths, whale song, horizon, voyage. A funfair, Ferris wheel, Wurlitzer, candy floss, bumper cars. Freedom, fly, soar, journey, migrate, aviate, glide. Death, winter, cold, still, senescent, complete, mist. Old age, autumn, gold, amber, transition, peace. To do. Using the words you have found or that we have found, write a sentence using those words using imagery to support your idea. For example, the imagery of war and machinery is used to convey the features of the dinosaur. Here are your tasks. Number 1, write about a party using fairy tale imagery. Number 2, write about starting a new college course using imagery of the sea. Number 3, write about a relationship with a friend using imagery of a funfair. Number 4, write about freedom using the imagery of birds. Number 5, write about death or old age using the imagery of seasons. I have some examples here. Here's the first one. For each one, I've used similes and metaphors. Number 1, write about a party using fairy tale imagery. The dance hall glittered like a scene from Cinderella's castle, where guests twirled under chandeliers that sparkled like enchanted stars, and laughter echoed like the joyous sounds of characters from a storybook. Metaphors. The diamond lights were a pulsating heartbeat. Starting a new college course using imagery of the sea. Starting a new college is like setting sail on an uncharted sea where each wave brings new opportunities and every horizon promises the discovery of unimagined friendships and knowledge. Metaphors. She set sail on her new and uncharted voyage to the career she saw on the horizon. Relationship with a friend. Having a good relationship with a friend is like enjoying a day at the fun fair, where every moment is filled with the thrill of riding the Ferris wheel, the laughter of winning at the coconut shy, and the joy of sharing candy floss under the bright, colourful lights. Metaphor. They rode the Wurlitzer of friendship until an argument sent their bumper cars in opposite directions. Freedom using the imagery of birds. Freedom is like a bird soaring high above the treetops, its wings spread wide as it glides effortlessly through the open sky, unbound and unrestrained by the world below. Metaphors. She flew off to her new nesting grounds, searching for juicier and more satisfying worms. Death or old age using the imagery of seasons. Old age is like the gentle arrival of autumn, where the vibrant colours of life slowly fade into a serene tapestry of gold and amber, signalling the peaceful transition towards the quiet, restful embrace of winter. Metaphors. The fragrant blooms of her young self were visible in the autumn of her life.